So this is my annotations for our opening sequence to our film Need. I will be taking through a step by step of how we went about it and how we used sound, mise-en-scène, cinematography, and editing to create meaning and shape meaning in our opening sequence. So it of course starts with the ident, which we kind of wanted to be weird and wonderful and bright because that's sort of what our intentions for our opening sequence was in the first place.
Girls, take advantage of the natural beauty that is already there when applying makeup. Use a dash of mascara to amplify your lights, lashes, and blush to add a rosy glow to your cheeks.
So all of this section is very kind of slow and happy, using kind of like makeup and all these kind of pretty girly things. So like here you can kind of see the eyes of the character and then kind of seeing the face, parts of the face, not seeing the whole face, which creates mystery. And kind of by overlaying through the editing, overlaying different clips that were actually from the 50s, it kind of helps create this weird sense that something isn't quite right. However, you don't know what yet because obviously everything seems happy at the minute. With our credits coming in, we kind of wanted it to be like title cards because that's how it was shown in the 50s, that era. They had title cards to introduce the names, and as well we thought it would be nice to put in some pictures next to it, as though it's kind of looking through a scrapbook or like a photo book, which kind of also adds to what has happened in our character's life.
Remember to put on some cherry lipstick. It's the most flattering shade for any skin tone out there. Think about your clothing choices, dears, as you do not want to wear something that will clash with the marvelous work you've made on your face. Take out your best pair of heels in your set. Have fun letting the town know you.
With the mise-en-scène, we decided to have in the background of this shot, you can see kind of like a cradle rocking back and forth, kind of to signify that a child was there, however, obviously isn't anymore. With our main character, which was played by me, we decided to have a really, really bright yellow dress that I had, because obviously yellow is a symbol of happiness and kind of joy and bright sunshine, which kind of contrasts completely to what this character is actually like and what she is actually going through.
In business.
Take it away.
The music that can be heard currently is a lot darker than all of the previous music, which creates kind of like this contrapuntal sense, because by putting all these happy images from the 50s and from what we filmed with this creepy, dark, grungy style of music, it creates an odd atmosphere and kind of lets the audience know that something isn't quite right. As you'll be able to notice as well, some of the overlays have actually increased in speed, which kind of heightens the tension and adds the sense that something isn't exactly right and that there's more to this than what we can see. And this is kind of more shown like in this section, and with these, because obviously it comes so fast. As well, with the overlays, we did want to kind of contrast strongly to what we filmed. So there are all of these very kind of like happy style images. So like if I take you back a bit, there's one of the women smiling. Where is it? So you've got all the cats and sort of thing. So it seems very homely and very kind of happy. But because it's in like this here, it kind of matches the character and it kind of adds to kind of like some sort of sexuality of it. And kind of it seems very, very, very happy, but without a reason, without a motive, which creates a really creepy sense. The clown was also introduced because around here, because it adds that childlike quality that this character is missing, and as well clowns are very, very creepy, so they added to this kind of the loss of innocence and how childhood has become twisted and evil because our main character lost her child. This as well, this overlay back here, with the woman kind of sat down, it's also showing the parallel between our main character and our main character's husband. So it's almost as though the woman isn't in charge and she doesn't feel like she's in charge, which can be further expressed later on through some of the other overlays that we used. Like this clip as well, especially, it seems very, very happy, but because it's so fast and there's a still image underneath it, along with the music, along with the contrapuntal music, it doesn't sound right and nothing really kind of fits, and it's all jagged and disjointed, which is exactly what we wanted for this.
I didn't know I was pregnant.
There are some kind of like overlay, some sound clips that sound like they could have been on a 50s radio.
You're not my daughter.
I'm leaving you, my dear.
It's also clear, like in this clip especially, we've got the original clip here that can be seen with all of the photo book, and then you have kind of a couple here that look like they're arguing, and then a knife in the background. So I decided to use some clips of knives, even if they're not threatening, or kind of, even if it's just something as simple as somebody sharpening a knife like this, it adds that horrible sense that something's going to happen and that something has happened.
I thought you loved me.
As well here, because of the amount of overlays we've used, like this shot here, obviously once again we've got one here of me pulling the stuffing out of the rabbit, one here of a mother throwing knives at her children, and then one here of kids walking to school. And kind of by having so many things on screen on the overlaying each other, it creates a sense of confusion, and everything is all kind of piling on top of each other. I decided to also increase the pace of the shots as it continues, because it adds tension and creates an unsettling sense.
Don't leave me.
And by having the silence at the end after all of that noise, is once again very, very unsettling.